So the next part that we're going to go to, and I have this as generating the Mdx file. And actually, it's probably better to just go straight to the actual documentation, and that's this part right here. And you're going to see after you've implemented all of those optional callbacks, and sometimes not so optional, there's a section on generating and updating an Mdx file, and that's what we're going to do right now. So it has you copy over those tools and those data, and remember we spoke about this earlier in the very beginning. That's that data and tools folder. So it's just a reminder that you really do need to have those at the root of your project. And we're going to be adding a new build phase step. So let me show you how that works. So if you go into your project, click on the app, targets, build phases. We're going to click and add a new run script phase. Go ahead and expand that, and you can see that you can run a script here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this one and paste that in here. Now the store URL, what this refers to is the actual URL of your app in the Apple App Store. So obviously you haven't done that yet. This hasn't even been published. So you can just set it to a fake URL for now. And I'm going to briefly explain all of these other exports that you need to fill in. The app type, just leave it as SDK app. And the package ID has to be that UUID that we created all the way back here. So we're going to copy this. Now, if you forget, like let's say you accidentally close this terminal window, no problem. It's actually, we've already set it in a place. And if you recall, that was in the URL type, which is under info. There's that URL type in this part right here. That's your package ID. So that's the exact same thing that we need to have. And it's just the UUID section, not the rest. Your app ID prefix. Well, that app ID prefix is in your Apple account, and it's your team ID. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it there, and then the rest, you can leave it as tools, and basically that means that the tools folder is relative to your project directory, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to run everything. So let's go ahead and build it again. And now this time when we build it, it should also generate that Mdx file. Okay, so we got an error. Let's take a look. And we can see here the app ID prefix, the entitlements. Now the entitlements was created when we added that keychain signing section. And min platform and everything looks pretty good. So let's find the actual error. All right, so command line option to the app is unknown with SDK prep. And that means that our parameters were invalid. So you can see here is how it's typically utilized. And you can actually run this manually yourself. So what we're going to do is let's take a look at that. So it definitely seems like it's that generating the Mdx file that is the problem. So we're going to go back here, store, SDK app, package ID, looks correct, app ID prefix. Okay, yeah, this is not quite correct. What we're going to do is we're just going to grab it from the actual documentation. It looks like I copy and pasted it incorrectly. I was in a little bit of a rush. So let's copy this. There you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. And let's copy over our package ID and the app ID prefix. So if you recall, this is our package ID. And then the app ID prefix was from here. And let's go ahead and run it again. Now hopefully this time we'll have better success indeed. And you can see it is, I'm going to go ahead and start up the app now. So to find that MDX file, we're going to go back to the Finder. And as I mentioned, one of the reasons that we made the drive data folder relative to the project was so that we could find it a lot more easier. And the location is going to be under the drive data folder and in a folder, subfolder, named after your app. And then build, products. In this case, we built it for the simulator. And there it is. There's your MDX file. And now if you build it and test it out on an actual like iPhone or so forth, you'll find it in their respective folder. But this MDX file is what we need later on. So I'm going to pass it off now, and we're going to go back and show you what to do with this MDX file and how to make it, basically how to publish it to Citrix Endpoint Management.